Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to EB Show. We're here to interview EB. What's up, my bro? So, how long is it going to take you to marry you?
To marry Jess?
No check out sweating, shine bright like a diamond.
Yo, my people. Welcome to another episode of the Kids Show. As you all can see, today I'm joined by my first ever couple on the show. It's on Valentine's Day, so it's obviously the month of love. It's Valentine's month, sorry.
Are we the first?
Huh?
Are we the first?
Yeah, you're the first couple.
Halal.
Never had a couple before. So can you guys introduce yourself for the people that do not know you guys, even though I think everyone knows you guys?
Hi, don't say that before we get out.
You see, it's already starting.
So for those of you who don't know me, I am Raeesah. I'm 27 years old. I'm a content creator.
Yeah, perfect. Influencer.
No. I just create content now and then. But what I would like to be known for is that I own a clothing brand called Off Duty. That is the heart of me.
Vibes.
Yeah.
How about you, Emmanuel?
I go by the name of Emmanuel with an I. Halal. Originally from Joburg. Moved to Cape Town a few years ago. I met this lovely soul over here, and then she kidnapped me, and then I decided to stay. What more can I say about myself?
I don't worry. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. So, guys, as you guys have heard, they are a couple. They are married now. And if you locked into like Cape Town social media, you know, like they're very like popular. So, guys, I want to ask you first and foremost, how did you guys meet?
There's always causes of fight, my guy.
Why?
Do I start?
Just summarize it.
So we were flight attendants. I moved to Cape Town. I was Joburg based.
Yes.
So I moved to Cape Town and then became Cape Town based. And then before I moved to Cape Town, there's a mutual friend that we have. Kind of send a DM. I was like, yo, who's this fine honey? Because she had on a story.
You actually admitting it.
Yeah, but it's the truth.
Okay.
You see, I can never tell the story, bro.
What part? Wait.
Because I forget.
He was stalking me before.
I haven't even started the story and it's already a fight.
Okay, summarize.
So yeah, and then she told me, nah, it's Raeesah. She just started at the company and stuff like that. She's like, yo, give me some more details. Like, yeah, but she's young, man. I was like, yo, but okay. If she's working there, I mean, she's an adult.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moved to Cape Town and then I bumped into her like a few months after. I heard her asking about me as well because I was a bit naughty at the time.
What you mean naughty?
Yeah, I was cuck naughty, bro.
Don't go there.
Bro,
Okay.
we're married now, it's fine.
Okay,
That's my past.
Okay, that's your past. Vibes.
Yeah, so I was naughty, so she kind of like asked about me. I think she was like, nah, I don't want to do anything with this guy because of him being naughty.
Warning me about him.
so
Like in the industry, they were like, don't speak to this guy because they saw he was commenting on my pictures.
Yeah.
So they were almost like, here's a warning. Yeah.
Yeah, so I bumped into her like a few months later because with the flights, we don't fly with the same people every day. Like you fly with different people every single day.
A different crew.
Different crew every
Yeah.
day. So I bumped into her at the stairs one morning, like 5 a.m. And I was like, yo, how are you? And stuff. She was just like, hello. I was like, yo, this girl. Yeah, I think she shit ice cream or something. Can you swear?
Yeah, you can say you can do as much as
Whoa.
you like.
Yeah, I think she can shit ice cream or something. I was like, okay, no, never mind. Fast forward, and then we had a night stop. So a night stop is when you sleep at a different place. So we were sleeping in Durban.
Yeah.
And then she'll go into detail about that night. So that was the first time we actually engaged with each other. And then as we spoke, she was not herself. I'll leave it at that.
She was shy. Or she was choosing to hold back.
Trust me, she wasn't shy.
I told you to summarize.
Yeah, relax,
But I want to hear. Wait, do you want to just stop on the night stop? What happened that night, Raeesah?
Okay.
No.
Just hold the mic a bit closer.
This is important. I need to say the story.
Okay, before the night, but the night stop was in the middle.
Okay.
So I want her to say the night stop, then you can finish the story.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I was crying over some guy.
Oh. Do you want to just pull her just a bit closer?
I was crying over some
Guy? Yeah.
I mean, we've all been there. And I was just emotionally in my feels. Yeah, doing things to stop being emotional.
Major turn off.
But I was crying.
You're basically
At that
crying.
point, I was in tears as if this guy and I have been dating for years, but it was just
Okay. Okay, for sure. We don't want to get too much into other people.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah, you can continue the story.
No, man. So he basically was my comforter.
What? Wait.
He was my shoulder to cry on. He was my shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
And then things happened. And the next morning I was like, this brat took advantage of me. That's the first thing I thought.
Because you were obviously in a deep sorrow.
Yeah, I was like, this brat took
Black
advantage
man
of
always
me.
a suspect.
I'm not going to speak to him. So we haven't spoken. We didn't speak for a year after that.
What year was this though?
2018.
2018, yeah.
2018.
Sure,
We
you guys
didn't
got
speak-
married quick, 5 years. Oh yeah,
Yay.
yeah. Okay, wait.
This guy.
5 years is right. 5 years is right.
Yeah, we didn't speak for a year after that because I was like anti him. I was like, yeah, everything everybody told me about this bra was right. And he obviously had a perception of me that I was like immature and still crying over boys and things like that. So I
'Cause
think
I like-
that year that we didn't speak, we needed that year to get over whatever we thought of each other.
Okay. Wait,
And
that's
then we rekindled in a very different...
we like 5 minutes in. I just want to tell you just to put it a bit closer because you might not.
Oh, sorry.
I'll cut the spot. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
We were 5 minutes. we when we rekindled on a different level. It was chalk and cheese from the first time we met.
So how did you guys
say that part.
rekindle and stuff?
Okay, I'll say it because
I messed up the whole story, bro. I shouldn't have let her speak first. I should have finished the story. But okay, yeah, that's the gist of it.
Yeah.
Okay, say your part.
No, I was just going to emphasize on like how disappointed I was when I like met her and she was crying over this dude.
Okay, I know that's not summarizing it.
You see how she's stopping me from saying that.
So I had him on WhatsApp all this time.
Yes, but you didn't speak.
I didn't speak to him because I was like, this bra.
And I was trying to reach out, just so you know. It wasn't like it was a...
He used to phone me at 11 p.m. If that's not confirmation,
Because
that
we
you are
end
a
off
fuckboy.
our day at 11 p.m. sometimes, like the flights. You know what I mean? So on my way home, then I would call or whatever. You know, and
You
she took
say,
it as if it's like
come
a...
to me. I'm like, bra, I'm home. Muslim girl. And then I was watching his stories at the time, and he was posting about his mom. And at the time, his mom was alive, but she was ill.
Yes.
And I was just like, yo, this guy loves his mom and cares for his mom so much. It's something that I'm not used to. Because every previous guy I had, they didn't have that love for their mom. So, you know, us girls, we used to the bare minimum. Whereas this guy, I was like, yo. It just touched my heart in a way where nobody else did. And then I was like, what can I do to show him, like, you know what, keep going? Because it's going to be random. Like, after a year, we don't speak. I hate this, bruh. I'm reaching out. So I speak to my sister and I'm like, I really want to do something for this guy because I just want him to keep on keeping on. Like, I don't want anything from it. So I'm thinking hard. And then he posts a picture. I screenshot the picture. I'm like, I check my roster. Him and I are flying together the next day. I print the picture and I put it in a keyring. It was of him and his mom.
Yes.
And then came to work. And then it said the person in control of the flight said that he's not coming to work today because he needed to attend to his mom. So that was even more like, yo, like he's even taking off from work to see to his mom. Like, he's not even caring about the work right now. It's all about his mom. So that like sealed the deal that I need to give him this keyring.
Of course.
Then the next night, it was also in Durban, back in Durban. I was on a 3-day layover, so he was coming the second day.
Yeah.
Don't go to Durban, you're going to get married, bro.
They moved his flight to the next day. So I'm like, good shot. I'm going to see him now. And I walked to his room. Last time we saw each other was a year ago. I told this brat to stay away from me. Go to his room and I'm like, listen, I have something for you. And I give him the keyring, and right there and then, it's the first time I see a man cry.
So you never saw men cry in your life?
I didn't.
So at that, just on a side note, at that time when you now prepare this keyring for him, do you think you had any feelings for him at the time?
That's a good question.
I think I did, but I didn't know it because I was just respecting him as a person. I didn't like see it for my own
Benefit.
It
Yes.
was just like, wow.
This person loves their mom so much, and I wanna show them
I wanted
that.
to keep on doing what they're doing. I wanted him to be inspired to continue. I mean, nobody gets a gift for looking after
Their
their
parents.
parents.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to show him, like, you know what? If nobody has ever told you they appreciate you, then this is some appreciation. And I think literally ever since that night, it was it for us.
Yeah, you guys knew you guys were
It
the
was
ones.
history.
Ah.
Do you feel the same?
Wow.
Yeah. Long ass summary.
Yeah, that was a good story.
Telling me to summarize.
That was a good story.
That is the important part.
Do you have any parts to add, Emmanuel, on that story, on that story?
No. She basically summarized it. It was just, you know what, she was the right person at the right time. I was going through a lot at the time, and the lifestyle that I had also was a bit on the wild side, man, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already in my 30s and I'm still living like I'm a youngster. So everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. My mom being sick, eventually passing away, may God rest her soul. Meeting Raeesah in that time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of like sealed the deal for the man that I am today. So yeah, that's like the right version, but I obviously have my own remix, but it comes down to what she said. It comes down to what she said.
Okay, interesting enough. So after then, you guys were now certain that you guys, not certain in a way, but you guys knew that this is the person for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when was your first date and how did that go?
First date wasn't really a date. I had a photo shoot this one day at in Long Street, and I just called her. I was like, "Yo, do you want to meet up? I'm at this place." She said she asked me for a picture of what I'm wearing, and then she dressed accordingly.
Yeah.
And she just rocked up. We kind of chilled there at the place, and then we ended up chilling for hours, and we spoke a lot. And I think that was like the first real connection, you know, we're referring to now.
But then you also took me on a real date.
On a real date, yeah.
Which I was like, oh, this brand knows nothing about me. He took me to a wine farm with a cheese platter.
Yeah.
Bacon on.
How you think you got the wine from?
Brother, don't judge. Don't judge.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
bruh. It's like I took her for a picnic. It just so happens to be a wine farm. So it's like we
Bacon.
ordered wine and stuff like that. Then we had like cheese platters and all of that. It was about the venue. It wasn't about the wine farm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just, yeah. Why are you only saying that after 5 years? You're only saying this now?
But you can mistake for yourself.
No, I can't think for anything. Like, bruh, don't come with your weird questions.
He's like,
Just come. Speak here. Shut down there if you.
he's not violating me. So obviously, in your relationship, there's a lot of like differences, not differences in the way in which it separates you guys, but differences in culture, in religion, and all of those things. So when was the first time like you guys introduced yourself, each other to to your families, and how did that go for you guys? I mean,
Hey,
obviously,
brother. Let me speak now.
yeah,
Hey, brother. Yo. This whiskey's lekker, bro. Do you have more? I am joking. Yo, Nala, don't come for me. It's not whiskey.
let's choose, guys.
So we started dating, right? Like things are going smooth, like visiting. I stayed on my own. I've been staying on my own for like the past 13 years prior to meeting her.
Yes.
So I got my own place. So she used to come to my place. We chill, we chat and stuff like that. Sometimes we go out like to go buy food and all of that. So I started noticing how people are like staring at us
Yeah.
for obvious reasons. So it kind of like made me nervous at the fact that what if this comes out to our parents, man? Because where we live in, I don't want to say where we live,
Yeah,
but
location,
the
yeah.
area in which we live, it's a very small community.
Yeah.
Like every body know each other, or their parents know of each other, or something, or somebody's related to someone. So I was afraid that this will get to our parents, man.
So, but at that time, were you keeping it secret from our parents?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Why do you think?
We were still fresh.
Okay, I get you. I get you.
And bear in mind, bro, like I saw like the hate we were getting, and like people's responses when they see like a black guy with this Muslim girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know how our parents were going to take it. You know what I mean? She's never had a black guy before.
Of course.
Or Christian guy, even for that matter. That I know of. You must talk now, brother. So I was just afraid of that aspect, man. You know what I mean? And then I kind of sat her down and I told her, listen, bro, I would not want your parents to find out from other people, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not ready to meet your parents, but I do think it is wise to let them know that you are with somebody before they hear from other people. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to rush the process. I was just trying to prevent something bad from happening, or, you know, trying to protect her and stuff like that. So yeah, I think she'll tell you about what happened there. So that's how, but you must summarize it. That's how she like alerted her parents to say, listen, I'm seeing somebody, but they met me before she told them about me.
Oh, so they met you as a friend.
As a friend,
Yes.
yeah. Hey, brother, that day when they met me, oh, you should have seen me. It was an Eid.
Yeah.
I was still flying. We were both still flying. So we had an argument like in that week. So we weren't speaking to each other. So it was Eid. So I'm thinking, hey, you know what? Let me get a bunch of flowers and just be like, listen, happy Eid.
Happy
You know what I
Eid.
mean? I didn't know what to say at the time.
At the time.
Get a bunch of flowers. I've got a 3 o'clock sign on.
Yeah.
My flight is like at 4. So I rock up at her place like at 2 o'clock. Come up there. I'm in uniform, brother. Yo, should have seen me in my uniform.
Nice.
Yo, fly guy. Excuse the pun. Get to a place. I'm in uniform. Made sure my shoes are shining, brother. Shine bright like a diamond.
Yeah.
Get to a house. Everybody's sitting in the house. First thing I do, see the father is sitting there. Yo.
Scared.
I was scared, but not like terrified. I was
Yeah.
just scared to say like, shit, you know what I mean? It's this man's house, it's his daughter, you know what I mean? But I was still brave enough to go. So when I saw him and he stood up, that was like the proudest moment for me. Because he stood up, man. I have so much respect for him just from that. Took his hand. I was like, Salam, my name is Emmanuel. I'm a colleague and I just wanted to come and wish you all Merry Eid. And then I greet everybody else there. No, whatever, quiet. So they're like, okay, now come and eat. I'm like, no, I can't eat. I just came to say happy Eid. I'm leaving because I've got a sign on now.
Yeah.
So my mom dished me up some barakat, skaftin, lunch. Put it in a pack and everything, whatever. And it was crayfish.
Yeah.
I've never eaten crayfish in my life, my guy.
That's expensive.
Yeah, I don't know. Dished up some crayfish for me. And then as I get to my car, I opened the door, bunch of flowers. Coming to days, I'm like, wait, brother, go straight to the mom. I'm like, this is for you. But I look at her, I'm like, you must know the vibes, must.
Yeah.
The mommy, the father and the brothers looking at me on song.
Look at this guy.
But anyway, get to work, open up the crayfish with my colleague. First time I'm eating crayfish, bro. Yo, brother. I eat it with the shell, me, bro. Gums were bleeding and everything, bro. So that was my first time meeting her parents. And then she told them afterwards, like, who I am. So she can elaborate about what happened there.
And how was it that day when you told your parents that?
And tell the truth.
It was tough.
She was
It was
crying
hard.
blood.
It was tough because if I look at it now, I was also in a different mindset where I also felt like, what are my parents going to say? And not the fact that he was black, the fact that he was Christian.
Yes.
And it's not allowed for us to get married to a Christian.
Unless they revert.
Yes, unless I was Christian and he was Muslim. So like the leader of the house must be Muslim. And I was like, how do I bring this guy here and say we're dating if I know that when we need to get married, there's going to be a barrier? So he basically gave me an ultimatum because I was like, I don't want to tell them unless I know that you are serious about me and that you know what you have to do in order for this to work. And then he was like, if I wasn't serious about you, I wouldn't have told you to tell them.
Of course.
Which kind of eased me into it. But it was so difficult. My heart was racing. I was pacing up and down the passage. I'm like, okay, let me go now. No.
She thought she was going to be stoned to death.
I was crying because I didn't know the reaction and I didn't want to disappoint them. Like the last thing I wanted to do was disappoint my parents. I was also very, like, my mindset was different for me to think I'm disappointing them. So anyway, I go into the room and I'm like, I look at my dad and I start crying. Before I even say anything, I'm crying. And he's like, what's wrong? Like, do you want to take a minute? I'm like, no. And I say, I'm seeing this guy and he's Christian and he's from a different culture. And the first thing my dad does is he pauses and he asks me, why am I crying? And I tell him, because it's wrong. And he stops me right there and he says, I have never raised you to believe that loving someone from a different religion, from a different creed, from a different culture is wrong. That means that you need to go back and do some introspection and then we'll have the conversation again.
So basically your own inner fears were leading you to think that what you're doing is wrong.
Yeah. And then I was like, wow. And I stopped crying and I was like, you're so right. And I really need to go think about this again. And then I came to him and he's like, you know what? Let me meet this guy. I can't say anything to you. I can't judge him before I know him. So let him come to our house. Let him see how we live. And he said that with him coming there, we will see how precious I am to Emmanuel. For him to then take the necessary steps that he needs to.
That's very deep and very wholesome, bro.
I love that guy, man.
Is that?
Yeah, no. We have a good relationship. Yeah.
I think when he said that, a lot in me happened. Like it was like a whole mindset shift. Because I was like, yeah, why the hell am I even thinking it's wrong? Like what's wrong about me dating a black guy? You know?
I feel like that also comes from like not necessarily your home, but like the schools we attend when we're younger.
Society.
And the people we surround ourselves
Yeah,
with,
of course.
because they tend to make us believe that. Like when I was younger, dating a colored girl, dating a black guy, that was a rare thing. If a black guy had a colored girlfriend, you'd be like, yo, you doing the things, you know what I mean? And that's actually like very, very deep lying racism, because a lot of the kids that we go to school with tend to come from homes where they thought that, no, you stay away from the black people.
I
and
find
things
that
like
so absurd, bro. And you were born in?
Me, I was born in Congo.
No, the year.
Oh, 2000.
You were born in 2000 and you experienced it. I was born in 87 and I experienced it. So what does that tell you?
Damn, you're old.
Like, I'm not old. I'm just older than you.
I'm joking.
I'm wise. But the point that I'm making is that, like, look at how weird that is, that we don't grow as a people. You know, I would have assumed that you wouldn't experience stuff like that. But it just shows like how indoctrinated and institutionalized our society is.
Factual. That's very, very factual. So, your family accepted Emmanuel? Your immediate family, at least?
Wholeheartedly.
My immediate family.
And did you ever encounter like issues with, not your immediate family, but like
Yes.
your aunties, your uncles? Because I know that's also another issue that people face.
Yeah. Not to throw anybody under the bus. We also had a lot of misunderstanding in the beginning.
Misunderstandings, yeah. Lack of understanding.
Yeah.
You know, ignorance.
People thinking that what they're saying is a joke. Emmanuel is someone that really doesn't take himself seriously. Like, he will make a black joke before
Anyone else does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because he's so secure in who he is. But people tend to forget that if I don't know you on that level, you don't get to make that joke.
Of course. Of course.
Whereas they now thought, it's funny. So things like calling him Sipo.
Yeah.
Sipo come do the garden. I'm sorry to say this, but for me, that was like, that's not a joke, man. Because as much as you think it's a joke, you're just being really ignorant at this point. So things like that, which was, I'm glad it happened because at the end of the day, I could also learn from it. Like, how many times did I use the D word or say like, yo, it's just black people, not thinking that I'm being offensive, just thinking that, you guys must know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm
Do you
just
know what I
joking.
mean?
Yeah.
So things like that happened. But you know what? None of that mattered because my mom and my dad was
Accepting.
that was all that mattered for us.
I would like to highlight something also that we spoke about recently, actually, that made me realize how much Raeesah is also learning about things that she didn't realize she probably done in the past.
Yeah.
Which is something I feel like a lot of people need to hear. There was an incident where we now started dating, full-blown. Parents knew about us and stuff like that. So we drove to a Nando's this one Saturday to come and get food. And we rock up there, open the doors. So there's like a glass door there where people are like seated and they're dining. So they can see us from outside entering the restaurant.
The restaurant, yeah.
So it was like a big Muslim family, if not like 2 or 3 families. Like I'm talking about 15 to 17 people.
Sure.
So we're walking in and everybody's staring at us. Like I'm literally dropping their 4 utensils and looking at us. You know, on some, you kick that. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing this. I'm thinking, dude, I've been black all my life. I'm used to stuff like that. I know how to deal with it, you know? So to her, it was something new. So as we're walking in, the guys there cooking the chicken there, the black guys, so we get the chicken. Hey, dude, that was the longest 15 minutes of my life. It was awkward, man. People are watching and stuff like that. And it made her feel like a certain way. So we get into the car, got the chicken and everything, and we leave. And now we start talking. I was like, yes, sis, can you believe that and stuff? So she starts crying. So as she's crying, I'm like, why are you crying? Like, why? It's not that deep. So she explained to me saying that she just realized that before being with me, she's trying to think back as to all the things or that she said or participated in without her knowing. And we kind of highlighted the fact that how people can be so ignorant and doing certain things without realizing what they're doing. That's offensive. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know what, my love? It's good that you experienced that. Don't drown in sorrow or anything like that. Just take it as a learning experience. You know what I mean? And you are now at the forefront of teaching your peers or people that are also within your religion or culture that that shouldn't be done, or you know what I mean. So I feel like that experience kind of like highlighted also to her what interracial couples also go through, and it kind of was like a learning curve for her. You know what I mean? So I'm actually very glad that happened that day.
That's very, very interesting. And since you said this is a situation in public where you experience like awkwardness, has there ever been a like negative, even more negative than that, where someone approaches you or says something about you guys like being together?
There's been a lot. I can't weigh them. You know what I mean? Because when it happens, you feel a certain way, and you can't say that incident was worse than the other. But there's been a lot. I mean, I've gotten death threats before on social media
Because you're dating her?
Yeah, I was like, but I'm the one person in the relationship. I don't read the negative comments. I don't participate. I don't respond. Like, I leave it at it. Like, I forget about it like within a day because I don't participate in people's negative comments and all of that.
And also after a while, you sort of become immune to it. Like,
I don't.
Nah, you don't.
like for me, it is like in the beginning when I started social media, like I would see something and it would affect me. But now it's like,
Yeah.
You expect it now.
No, it's also what affects me is when they give hate comments about him.
of course,
So
yes.
I'm sure you would never be immune to a hate comment about your girlfriend.
Of course, yeah.
Like that will always
Upset you, yeah.
upset you. And for me, like, they can say whatever they want about me, but the minute they say something about him, it's just because it's somebody I love. It's somebody that I know doesn't deserve things like this.
See, brothers, you must get a girlfriend like this. Protect your husband.
Yeah, so I never get used to it. And one thing that stands out for me is that the hate comments always come from a Muslim person.
So it doesn't obviously feel nice when people that are
Yes.
closest to you are spreading like negative things
Yeah,
towards someone.
and it's
that you
almost like they feel like they own me. Like the Muslim community feel like they own me, and because I'm stepping out of it, now they need to attack me. Or they need to attack him. It's just like before we told the public that he turned Muslim, he was getting so much hate, not knowing
It's
he was
actually
already
funny.
Muslim. And all I wanted to tell those people is, you do know that right now the only sinner here is you.
You judging people.
Like, and then he told me, you know what, just leave it. But it's hard, man. It's hard to
Yes.
leave when they say something about somebody you love.
I got that. I get that. And now on social media, you guys are quite literally out there now. Besides the hate comment, how do you think like social media like impacts your relationship? Do you think it ever has a negative or positive impact on your relationship? Because most of the stuff, like some of the big moments that you guys have had, have been lived in the moment, of course, and then also posted on social media. So how do you think that has impacted your relationship compared to a normal couple that would just not post anything on social media?
You wanna go? You wanna say your version?
Yeah, I think for me, I've been on social media almost my whole adult life. And I almost kind of know what to post and what not to post.
Of course.
So like you say, a lot of the moments we live in the moment and then we post it. So whatever negative comes from that, it doesn't really affect me because the two of us, we know what we have. We know what we're feeling. Half the time we don't even post to the full extent.
What's happening?
Yeah, like just like when he turned Muslim, I was so proud of him in that moment that I wanted to post, and he would tell me, no, let us just have this to ourselves. So when we did post, it was like whatever anybody said, it was like water for ducks back because we already felt all the emotions that we needed to feel. I think the only time it might affect us, or I'll say it does affect us, is when I'm affected by negative comments and I go into that mode where I'm crying about the comment on social media, or he's feeling down about something that somebody said, and now we have to comfort each other about a stranger that's continuing living their
Their
life.
lives.
Yeah, I don't really think it affects us to a point where, I don't know.
It from my side, it comes and goes. There's negative and then there's positive. I think there's more positive towards it if it's in your control.
Yeah.
We don't make social media our lives. That's why you will see us like disappear for months,
Of
like
course.
especially me, or not do things together. Like we'll do things separately. So if it is in your control, I believe for us it works. That there's more positive. And in the very beginning, I told her that, listen, I don't want to be on this thing just to post, just for people to know that this is us, this is what we do, this is where we're going. I'm not about that.
Of course.
If you can see my page, it's all about skits, comedy, and you won't really see things about my personal stuff, my
Of
personal
course.
life. And I told her that, listen, the numbers are there, the attention is there. Attention equals revenue. What are we going to do about this to like make an income of it or something, And that's how the clothing brand started. Well, not started, but I was like, look, you good with clothes, you were designer and all of that. You've got the numbers on Instagram and people like you. So like, why don't we come together and like create something using this platform? You know what I mean? Because the attention is there, but what are we going to do to make it positive for us?
Yeah,
You know
of
what I
course.
mean? So like I said, it has its pros and cons, but I think the negative can be controlled from my side.
Okay. I get you. And you say he gets a lot of like negative comments, especially when he wasn't Muslim. But not when he wasn't Muslim and they didn't know he was Muslim. So I want to ask you, this is for you, Emmanuel, like what challenges did you face like reverting, like besides obviously having to give out certain things that Christians are allowed to do and Muslims aren't? Like what challenges do you face in terms of like when you go to the mosque, for instance, or when you post in your salah top and in your kufia, if people say negative things, like what type of challenges do you encounter on a day-to-day basis? If you do experience any.
I don't experience challenges from how you're putting it in terms of those things. Look, I'm new to this. There's difficulties, of course, because it's new. I'm learning, you know. But like people coming for me, attacking, that has never stopped. Whether I was Christian or Muslim, like they will still come at me. So I don't focus on that. Hence, I don't see that as a challenge.
Yeah.
Like I just ignore such things. But practicing the deen now, I wouldn't say it's challenging. It's just I'm learning, and I'm actually having fun, to be honest with you. The only challenge that I can really talk about was having to lose friends, and I don't want to use the word lose because I obviously like realized that they were not really my friends.
Yeah.
So it was actually a bonus for me, for them to be out of my life.
How do
I
you,
know it sounds harsh, but it is what it is. They're no longer there.
why do you think that's because of?
No, look, they couldn't accept. They couldn't accept. They saw it as a change. They saw it as me denouncing who I was, where I come from, my religion. What was my family going to say? That's how they saw it. Not realizing that Emmanuel is still Emmanuel. Like,
of course.
the person is still there. It's just my way of life has changed. What I believe in has advanced, not even changed. You know what I mean? So it was a matter of me letting go of people that I grew up with, or people that were close to me and stuff like that, you know, that couldn't accept me moving forward. You know what I mean? So I saw those as the challenges, but obviously where I am now, mentally, spiritually, I no longer see them as challenges because I'm moving forward, bro.
So that's actually interesting. Did your friends just decide like how did it happen? Did they sort of like fall away, or did they just wake up one day and be like, Emmanuel is now reverted, I'm not going to be friends with him anymore? Or did they just slowly like distance themselves?
Gradually. I think, dude, I had thousands of friends, but they just gradually went away. And the ones that would like ask, look, you can tell if somebody asks you in a way where they're judging. You know what I mean? Then I'd just like ignore or just be like, okay, I'm not about that, whatever. But there was like one specific person who I was very close with, like since we were very young, that like full blown came at me, like challenging, like dude, like what would your mother think? And dude, you know, if anybody who's close to me would know like how dear my mom is to me, you know. So for you to bring up my mother in what you are struggling to comprehend, it shook me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go in detail as to the other things that was asked, but the friendship was then like placed there where like I had to question, dude, like, are you a friend, or were you actually an acquaintance all along? You know, so those are the things that I had to sit back and ask myself, do you need this person in your life? What role have they played in your life? Like, you know, what are they an asset? Do they bring value to your life? And every time I had this conversation with myself, the answer would be absolutely no. My father-in-law once asked me, if you had a choice between you and your creator, who would you, I mean, between your friends and your creator, who would you choose? The answer is simple, my guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The stuff that I am learning, the revelation that has been brought onto me is it will take your breath away if I can like literally sit with you and discuss what I have experienced and gained knowledge of. And it was life changing for me. You know, it made me a better person. But just because you struggle to comprehend my revelation, it tells me that you have no room in my life anymore. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, but I got over it very quickly. It was also easier because I mean, I'm married. I have a responsibility. I have somebody to, so it was very easy to like let go of a lot of people. The ones who really were my friends, they stuck around. And I'm talking about 3 people out of 1,000. There's like 3 people that I can call my friends today. So yeah, man, all praise due to the Almighty, man.
That's crazy. That's very, very deep, bro. I didn't know like you.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot of stuff. Emmanuel's a deep guy, huh?
Trust me.
I like that. But bro, you guys dated for how long before you guys decided to get married? Said 2018 the timeline started.
2018, yeah, we got married in.
Gone to maths. in 2021.
So we dated 3 years. 3.5 years.
So at what point did you realize like, yo, this is the woman that I want to marry? Was it sort of like in the beginning?
Hey, what's this now?
I knew from day one.
Oh, you knew from day one you're going to marry?
From day
More
one.
whiskey there, bro.
Stop it.
I'm trying to get to be a sponsor here. Shout out. It's juice. It's juice. Juice sponsors are also welcome.
Answer the question.
Bro's trying to
What's
run
the
away
question?
from the question.
What was the question?
The question
No,
is-
seriously, what was the question?
At what point did you realize Raeesah is the one that I want to marry?
Look at first when she did what she did for me in the time of my mom being sick.
Yes.
I was like, okay, this person is special. She's special. I don't like talking about that period of my life when my mom was sick. But if I cry on your show and I become a meme, I'm going to do something to embarrass you here so we both can become a meme. I'm not going to be the only one here being embarrassed. Bismillah. So when my mom was sick and she eventually passed away, that period of my life was the worst for me, the worst. Believe it or not, I was even suicidal. Like, I contemplated taking my life for like many times. Dude, my job was irrelevant to me even. Like, they had to beg me at work to stay, you know. They gave me like sufficient leave days and all of that because, I mean, I was never a troublemaker at work. So I had a good reputation at work.
Yeah.
So they kind of like were very lenient with me and they understood. So they gave me as much time as I needed, counseling and all of that. I took it really, really badly. So like 3 to 5 months went by where I was in this dark space. I didn't know when I was coming or going. 5 months later, when I opened up my eyes, this person has been next to me the whole time, encouraging me, supporting me, teaching her friends also, like to be with me, you know, on days where I just want to be at home and do nothing.
Yeah.
She'd be there, you know, and right then and there, like after 5 months, I was like, okay, there's no way I can picture myself being with anybody else. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. Nobody has been there for me in that way that she has, you know. The third incident was, Raeesah has many flaws, which we all do.
Yeah, of course.
But for the first time, I was willing to stay with somebody, even though she had flaws that I deemed as I would never stay with a woman that has these specific flaws.
Yeah, of course.
And I decided to stay with her through those flaws.
Yeah.
That's when I realized, oh, dude, like, to realize that this is the one, you know. And right then and there, I was like, okay, now I want to be with this woman for the rest of my life. This was before I even considered becoming a Muslim, before anything, even thinking of a ring or anything. I just told myself, this is the one. What's going to happen about the religion thing or whatever, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Of course.
And we did.
That's-
Yeah, man.
So 5 months in, you knew.
5 months into dating you, yeah.
Hey, you just now said she's not good with maths. Look now, she's counting well. You must watch.
Okay, interesting enough. So it's 5 months to realize that someone is the love of your life and the person you want to marry. Now I know like the timeline. For
It's been how many months now?
8.
6.
Whoa.
Nah, brother.
Who said I don't know? I do know.
Okay, so do you know?
I do know.
Righto. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to EB's show. We're here to interview Evie. What's up, my bro? So, how long is it going to take you to marry you?
To marry Jess.
There's no check out sweating, shine bright like a diamond.
Hold on. That's my show. That's my show. Let's bring it back.
My bad, bro. It's your show.
Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. I'm getting nervous. I'm already wearing a hoodie and stuff. But maybe soon though. But anyway, you planned a very romantic and very special proposal.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all saw it. Everyone saw it.
Why do you keep giving him his flowers on the show? When is it my turn?
You can see why. Put your hand on it. You can see why.
And you can see how happy you get when he must talk about
Shine
the good
bright
about
like a
you.
diamond.
Look there.
He's excited.
Funk taps, Owens.
come back.
What was your question? You asked me
Yeah.
a question.
I'm getting to you now, Raeesah.
Brother.
I'm getting to you now.
Right here by EB show.
No, it's
What was your
fine.
question?
So, how did you go about like preparing that proposal? And how many months did it take? How many months of planning and hard work?
I planned it.
Like how many months before you did it, you knew on this day I'm gonna do it? Or how many
Yeah.
days?
No, not even. It was like 8 months.
So it was 8 months, let's say 8 months ago, you knew that today on the 20th of February.
No.
So I'm wanting
didn't
like
know
that timeline.
I just knew that I knew I wanted to marry her. I got the ring made.
Yeah.
So there was,
How much is it?
I had a ring.
How much is it?
Right?
How much is it?
It was a lot.
That was a lot, no?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
I had the ring made. I had a ring. I played on a finger and I was like, okay, cool. A wedding ring, a wedding finger fits my pinky.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got the ring made without me thinking of a date or anything. So I just kept the ring for like months. I had the ring like a year and a half before I proposed even.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, something happened where I just went to her parents and I spoke to them. I told them, listen, this is my plans. I would like to marry your daughter. I want your blessing. So we had like a 2-hour chat. Yeah. So her dad actually was like, right, you know, this is after I converted to Islam. Ne?
Yeah.
Long after. So it was like, right, with Muslims, if you ask the father, must something happen now. I was like, nah, brother, wait. I'm new to this Muslim thing, so
Yeah.
I can't happen now. So yeah, that's what happened. And then when I proposed to her, then everything just went fast.
Everything went fast.
Yeah. I proposed to her 8 months after I asked her dad.
So the 8 months before when you had the ring already,
Yeah.
you went and spoke to the dad and
I had the ring like 9-10 months before I spoke to her dad.
Yo, you were years ahead.
Yeah, I was just I knew I wanted to marry her. I just was like the right time. But for in the meantime, I'm just gonna get this, put this aside because my intention was made already. So I put the ring one side. The thing was catching dust there in the house the whole time, bro. And I was nervous she was gonna find it every time
Where were you hiding it?
behind my mother's photo.
So you know that's something that's dear to you, so she wouldn't like move it around or anything like that.
Yeah.
That way.
Eventually gave it to my daddy.
Yeah, eventually. When I asked father for the blessing, then I gave it to her father.
To keep it until you were
Yeah,
ready.
because you was burst this thing. Sometimes clean there and then.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Okay.
look.
Did you, Raeesah now, at the time when you met Immanuel, how old were you?
I was 23,
Hey,
22.
you're asking me? I don't know.
I'm 27 now. Do the math quickly. 'cause I'm
27, and in 2018 you were 22.
old. Yeah.
Wait, 22. So,
22.
at that time you probably had like leading up to that, you probably had no intentions of getting married, or did you? Or did you like what I'm getting to is like at what age did you picture yourself getting married when you were younger?
I always wanted to be married. So when I was in high school, I didn't have goals to like go study this. I just wanted to be a wife and a mom.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to be. And then I actually did get married before Emmanuel. For those of you who don't know, at the age of 21.
Oh.
That was just a trial run for me.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Trial.
It was a trial.
Yeah,
for the
just
real
a
thing.
practice.
Yeah, for the real
Practice
thing.
and then it's like, okay, right.
Yeah, it was a trial. And then after that, funny enough, I thought that I would be like anti-marriage, but
Yeah.
I wasn't. I wanted it even more because I saw that in the time of me being married, that it was good. It did so much for me as a woman.
Yes.
As and not a lot of people feel like this. I feel like marriage is, being a wife is one of my achievements in life. That's what I feel like. I know a lot of people
Amen.
don't. To just be a honest woman, to be somebody's wife, to love halal and not haram. Like, it did a lot for my religion. So I always, after my divorce, I always pray that I find the right person to actually do this with. and for it to actually be forever. So before him, when I was meeting guys, it never lasted because I was like, nah, man, this doesn't feel like this person is from God, and it doesn't feel like God is answering my prayers now and saying, oh, here's someone to marry.
Yeah.
So it would just end and I would just not be interested. And that's why I say when I met Emmanuel, I literally knew from day one, because it was something that, and then it was something that I was praying for. So I always saw myself as being married. Like even in my crazy nights out and whatever, it was just a phase for me. But if he had to ask me to marry him then when I gave him the key ring, I would have said yes. We would have been 5 years married now.
Do you think you honestly would though?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a bold statement. And you mentioned something about children.
Next question.
When
you see.
I do want to be a mom, but when the time is right.
The time is right now.
There's no wants to be a dad now.
What's with that now?
He wants to be a dad now.
How old are you now?
He's almost 40, so he's right. You just have 4 more years.
You know what? He's given me enough of my flowers, so it's fine. You cannot make fun of me. I'm gonna be 36 this year, bro.
Wait, so I don't think he wants to play with his he wants to be 40 and play with his 1-year-old child.
Nah, it's actually not even about that. I just feel like I'm ready. I mean, I've achieved what I've always wanted. I always wanted to get married as well. I found the one. We've been married for almost 2 years now, and I just feel like I'm ready. Yeah, that's literally it.
That's interesting. And you feel like you're ready?
No, I don't feel like I'm ready, but if it comes, I'll be happy.
Okay.
I'll be content.
Perfect. Well, lastly, I want to ask you guys, is there anything we should look out from you guys? Besides the brand, we all know about the brand is very, very active, but anything else on the side you guys got planned for us in terms of like content or?
In 9 months. No, I'm joking. I don't know. I think for me, the only events that's big in my life now is my brand. Emmanuel started a new business. If you guys want to check that out. Just keep supporting us like you do. We wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for everybody that supports us.
Yeah, man. You can expect more laughs from me.
Yeah.
I'm planning to do a lot of collaborations now to kind of like expand the comedy.
Yeah.
Hint.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be there no matter what.
Who knows? And yeah, man, personally, I just want to thank you for reaching out to us. We can come onto your show. You know, it's platforms like these, you know, that goes out there, gets to an audience, you know, that expands our brands as well and stuff like that. So,
definitely.
Yeah, man, I'm all about sharing that love and togetherness and to expand each other's brands. So yeah, shout out to you, man.
Guys, that has been another episode of The Kid Show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow these two lovely lovers on IG. And yeah, take care.